Hi guys, it's Skim1 here. What you're watching now is you're watching me set up the game settings for the game. You'll see game speed 30 is the standard game speed, but we're going down to 27 on this. We're just going to play on a slightly slower setting, staying with the standard starting cash of 20,000, and we're moving in there against a hard Chinese opponent. Just showing you how to do base building with USA against a hard opponent in the long run, rather than just rushing. So let's see how this plans out. Okay, first of all you want to get your reactors built. Get up enough power, make sure that you're stacking up your supply bases, one to the north, one to the south. You then need to get your war factory up nice and quickly, because you're going to need some base tanks just to defend your base, as you won't be building defense turrets to begin with. Build defense turrets in the south with the southern supply centre, but then build one barracks and retreat that dozer back up to the north. You then want to be building anywhere between 5 and 10 supply depots once you've got the strategy centre up. The strategy centre's cannon will also work as a defensive turret in the preliminary minutes of the game. We're also going to be using a Humvee to get troops across to the centre of the map and to keep them busy while we're setting up the beginnings of our base. Already at this point the enemy have their air fully up and have their war factory building tanks at a fast rate. All I'm trying to do here is keep them busy in the centre of the map with the minimal amount of resources and troop cost. I'll then pull back and make sure my defensive line is ready for them to start bringing in all of their jets, long range artillery and heavy tanks. The only way for me to make this possible is to use a mixture of units and defensive structures, which you'll see me do over the next few minutes. But this is the end of part 1, so if you want to take a quick break, do it now. Now we've got up to the point where we've got all 3 dozers back at the main base. We're building a solid line of defensive turrets. We don't want to go overkill with the defensive turrets, but there need to be 3 shooting on every target at minimum. We're also bringing up the first airfield at this point to get Raptor jets on the go, which are going to protect our outer perimeters and stop long-range artillery and long-range units attacking the defensive perimeter. We're only going to need 4 Raptors for this job, but we need to maintain that airfield throughout the game. You'll also see now I'm starting to build up my power in anti-infantry with the snipers I'm building, and also building up the A10s ready for the super weapon phase, which is part 3 of this video. So now we're getting to a sensible number of supply pads. We're starting to get an even flux of money coming in. meaning that we have a sustainable amount of money to keep building at the rate we're building at. We do, however, need to keep on top of this because the units only become more expensive as you're looking to build a second airfield and a constant string of Aurora bombers to keep the enemy pinned and to keep their super weapon down. Resources start coming in at a larger rate once you get them more and more of the resource pads down. You'll also need to think about providing power for these, so you'll need to keep up your power supply, and you'll also need to think about having enough bulk power to place a particle cannon down, because your particle cannon will need to be down before their nuke cannon is up for 2 minutes, as a nuke takes 6 minutes to charge and a particle cannon 4. Now we have the jets up and they're fully defending us. We've got a pretty solid defensive line, but this will need to be increased upon and solidified as the game progresses. In part 3 you'll see us move into the super weapon phase of the game, but in this phase you can see that we've got a pretty solid defense going on and we should be reasonably infallible by the end of part 3. Okay guys, we're reaching the end of parts 1 and 2, so that's showing you how to do the preliminary base setup and how to get the starters of your defensive line going. In parts 3 and 4 we'll show you how to set up for super weapons and endgame.